especially with regards to the Mile 2 Central prisons and the Old Joshua prisons. And we must commend the various visiting committees, especially in the past, for having done, and expended a lot of effort, to improve conditions in these prisons.
The visiting committees of Mile 2 and Old Joshua prisons were already in existence, and thus officials thought it fitting to replicate a similar procedure at the Janjanbureh prison so as to put all the 3 prison services on the same bearing. The chairpersons of the 3 prisons visiting committees all commended the authorities for having the welfare of the prisoners at heart, saying though the prison serve as a home for offenders, it also provides a ground for correction.
I promise that I shall, work as to expectation. I shall do my utmost to be worthy of the confidence that has been placed in me.
I would also wish to appeal to colleagues that it's not an easy task, but one must be very honest and genuine in our reporting. What we find is what we should see. Government is a living testimony with regards to the upkeeping of the prisons. So to have a committee that would enhance government's effort is really ideal.
We all know the importance government attaches, because prisons, the way people see it and the way it is are quite different, because some people see it as punishment center. Yes, it's a punishment center, but at the same time it's a correction center.
The 3 chairpersons who were appointed by the president all pledged to execute their duties without fear or favor, whilst urging the authorities of the prison services to continue to maintain a high sense of professionalism in executing their duties. For GRTS News, I am Fatou Jassi.
Well, you can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, which is at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. Well, we will be back with more stories after this break.
billahi mané dañuy wax 2 weeks bu nek dina am ñoo xamné dinañu win bedroom set fo xamné dafa and ak dressing table ba cupboard ba lal bi ak side table ba yépp wala ñu win la mané togu yo xamné togu yu baax yu óor yu dëggal pour saal bi mom la ñoo win billahi Gamcel defati nako Gamcel defati nako Gamcel néna rek billahi Gamcel defati nako kër la ñuy joxe $100 rek nga xoss dugal ci sa biir mobile wax ci ko soxla ba paré win ci kër tay way Gamcel defati nako way Gamcel defati nako way mané kër la ñuy joxe kër ak ay bedroom set ak ay sofa yoo xam ne yi kenn mënu la ko wax ci taaru ci rafet tey Gamcel.
News from outside the Gambia now. The name Boko Haram often conjures up images of violence in Nigeria, where the group has been responsible for bomb attacks that killed hundreds of people in this year alone. The Islamic sect wants Sharia law to prevail in the country and will do anything to achieve its aim. As CNN Kele Mbabusa reports, some Muslims don't support their efforts.
Yahya Fagé sees himself as an ordinary trader trying to survive. But in Nigeria, his ethnic group Hausa and his religion Islam have become associated in the public mind with the murderous Muslim sect Boko Haram. The group has launched brutal attacks in its effort to impose Sharia law in the country, killing more than 1,000 people, says the chief of defense. Christians, police and government structures, their main targets. But the bombing of the United Nations headquarters in the capital Abuja last year and the kidnap and murder of 2 Europeans in the northwest have elevated Boko Haram's once purely domestic threat into an international concern.
For now, they have a third-grade affiliation with Al-Qaeda.
And it is a matter of time that their affiliation may be upgraded to full status, and that is when it is going to be difficult for this issue to be addressed and to be tackled domestically.
Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos, has so far been untouched by Boko Haram violence. But since the UN bombing, security at the US consulate here and government buildings has been stepped up. The governor here has even demolished makeshift mosques near his office, he says, for security reasons. Nigeria has a long history of ethnic and religious conflict. But for years now, Muslim and Christian have lived side by side, most united by poverty and the daily struggle to earn a living. The resentment towards Muslims in general is growing, Fajr tells me, as violence escalates in the name of Islam.
If they are really genuine true Muslim people, they cannot do those things, because Islam teaches us to love your neighbor, whoever he is.
Do you want Nigeria to be ruled by Sharia law?
There's no any Muslim that can say they don't want to rule by Muslim people, but in Nigeria, I don't think it's more closer this to happen. Even you go to the north, you can see a Muslim man is marrying a Christian woman.
With trust between government and the guerrilla group at an all-time low, there are those calling for a foreign Arab nation to mediate talks, saying a military crackdown is failing.
If force could have ended the group, it could have done so a long time ago.
For now, force appears to be the only form of communication both sides are committed to. Nkepile Mabuse, CNN, Lagos, Nigeria.
More than 40 people have been killed in attacks in Iraq's oil-rich northern city of Kirkuk. Coordinated bomb attacks and shootings rocked 14 villages, and thousands of mourners in Cairo attended the funeral of Pope Shenouda III. We have details of this and other stories in this roundup of world news.
Here in the oil-rich northern city of Kirkuk, a car bomb targeting a police building killed 13 people and wounded 50 others. Coordinated bombings and gun attacks, which began at 7 a.m. local time, rocked a total of 14 towns all the way to Karbala in the south. Iraqi police said the violence bears the hallmark of Al-Qaeda. A forest fire continues to rage in southwest China's Yunnan province. The fire, which broke out on Sunday, defied overnight firefighting efforts and spread through the region's mountainous forests. A 3-year-long severe drought was blamed for the fires. More than 2,000 military personnel and civilians were sent to the site of the blaze to bring the fires under control. Thousands of mourners attended the funeral service of Pope Shenouda III at St. Mark's Cathedral in Cairo. They included clergy from around the world as well as Egyptian ministers and public figures, both Christian and Muslim. The leader of the Coptic Orthodox Church died over the weekend at the age of 88. Tuesday was declared a day of national mourning in Egypt. The French Constitutional Court announced on Monday the names of 10 candidates entitled to run for presidency in the April 22 elections.
Madame Eva Joly.
Among them are incumbent President Nicolas Sarkozy, Socialist Party frontrunner François Hollande, François Bayrou, or Marine Le Pen. The May 6 runoff is expected to be between François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy.
From that, a reminder of our top stories before we go. The commission set up to investigate the purchase and distribution of fertilizer has alleged that the supply of agronomically ineffective fertilizer was a serious sabotage to government efforts at ensuring national food self-sufficiency. The National Disaster Management Agency has provided funds amounting to $1 million to cushion the effects of last year's crop failure. Tens of thousands of Egypt's 10 million odd Coptic Christians today flocked to St. Mark Cathedral for the funeral service of their patriarch, Pope Shenouda III, and coordinated bomb attacks and shootings in the oil-rich northern Iraqi city of Kirkuk have left at least 40 people dead. Well, you can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, which is at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. Well, that brings us to the end of the news at 10. Enjoy the rest of our programs and join us at 10 for another newscast.